become a real man. Every woman wants to date and get married to a real man. What is a real man? It asks. This is one who has left behind all the activities and ways of thinking that are childish. He thinks, speaks, and acts in a mature way. A real man is first and foremost the leader of himself. This makes him confident and a leader of others too. Not only is he respectful, he is empathetic about the feelings of others. Most of all, he is confident and makes those around him confident of themselves too. These are just a few of the characteristics of a real man. And I'm going to go through these 12 characteristics. The first one says, a real man cares about the needs of their significant others. It states, a real man cares about more than how his partner fits into his life. He is genuinely concerned about the needs of his partner. Such needs include time, emotional bonding, physical satisfaction, and intellectual stimulation. He will make time to provide all these for his partner. When she requests some time, a real man does not feel interrupted or inconvenienced. Instead, he welcomes this activity and provides what is needed while still maintaining the order of priorities. And let me say for us that as I go through these traits, none of us as men have mastered all these traits. So brothers, as I go through them, don't think to yourself, man, I guess Pastor done mastered all that. No, Pastor's still a work in progress, as I said to you last week. But I've enjoyed doing the research and bringing forth the study because it causes me to check myself, evaluate myself. Am I doing as well as I need to do in a particular area? Was I doing well in a particular area and have fallen off in a particular way? So as I go through this and I read and I study and I bring the message, I'm having to, if I point a finger and it hits you, just realize I got 3 other fingers pointing back at me.
All right.
So I'm 3 times as accountable as you are. The next one says, a real man takes responsibility for his faults. It says, when he is in a relationship, a real man does not assume that the problems which arise are all caused by their partner.
No.
Some of the issues that can arise in a relationship are his fault. In such cases, he owns up to his mistakes and apologizes for them. Some men have the habit of projecting their mistakes onto their significant others. This is wrong and does not indicate maturity. A real man understands that his girlfriend, fiance, or wife is his teammate. Thus, he fosters the most empathetic form of companionship that he can. And that is so true of a statement about us as men. And when we're immature as men like that, we do that with just about every relationship, not just the relationship with our significant other. Because I've seen men who are part of athletics make a mistake. They can't own up to the mistake that they made on the plate. It always had to be, if so-and-so had did what they should have done over here, then I would have. No, you missed the play, dude. You messed up the play. You ran the ball the wrong way, or you didn't run the right route, or as the quarterback, you didn't read the defense. No, stop blaming other folk on what you did. Amen. That's all that's being asked. Yes, somebody else may have made a mistake. Somebody else may have done something else wrong. We ask you that. Own the part that belongs to you. And when you're able to do that, it is a sign of maturity. And I remember young in my marriage, I was bad at projecting. You know, something went wrong, sister girl. I was good at it too. I'd have a sister thinking, okay, well, did I really? And all along I know I was at fault. I just wasn't fit to fess up at that moment. Now I might have came back a little bit later and fessed up. But at the moment, my pride wouldn't let me acknowledge to her that she was right. And I was wrong. That's a hard word for us to say as brothers sometimes. I was wrong. The next one says a real man is passionate about things other than his relationships. To keep his life interesting and moving forward, a real man has other interests apart from his relationships. He has a hobby, profession, or other activity that he finds fascinating. This shows that he has some ambition. Being passionate about activities that are not related to relationships is one of the traits of a real man. And I encourage brothers all the time to find yourself some me time. Because as a man, the responsibility that has been put on us, if we allow ourselves to get into the rut where all we do is work and come home, usually there's stuff at home that needs to be done as well. So if you have some realm of responsibility for the home, you get into that rut. You work at work, you work at home, you work at work, you work at home, you work at work, you work at home. And it gets to a point where you kind of go, well, dog, man, do anybody care anything about me? You know, I come home, the children got problems, the wife talking about her problems. I can't tell nobody mine because everybody telling me theirs. And we can get to that place where, you know, we kind of get up to here with it. And if we don't have an outlet, we can blow our stack. But I've learned over the years to always have an outlet for myself. Something that belongs to me and me alone. If it's nothing else but taking myself out for a meal with just me. See, I'm good with that. I can go do me a breakfast, because I love breakfast food. I eat breakfast at, you know, whatever time, 10 o'clock at night. When I need me some me time, I leave everybody else alone, go to a restaurant, sit there by myself, and enjoy whatever it is that I want to enjoy. It may be for 30 minutes or an hour, but that's my me time. That's my time of getting everybody else's issues off of me and allowing myself to rejuvenate so I can go back home and be in decent spirit. Amen? And I'm sure if you say to your wife or your significant other, babe, I need to leave for a minute because, you know, right now, you know, I feel stupid coming up in me and I don't want stupid to jump off of me. So I'm going to leave for a little bit. I'm going over to the club, or, you know, I'm going over to the restaurant, or, you know, wherever it is you want to go to, you know, have your me time. I'm sure the sister should appreciate that. She should be very thankful. Man, I'm sure glad he didn't blow off. You know, come on, brother, take 2 hours if you need, if you need 2 hours. It says a real man is self-reliant. One of the most evident indicators of independence is having one's own stream of income. It allows a man to have his own freedom. During high school and college, it says, a boy is allowed to ask for money from his parents. However, once he is done with his education, he must find a way to support himself and, if possible, his significant other. A real man must find a way to rely on himself and build his own home. This way, he can be trusted to take care of someone else when the time arrives. We have so many young men nowadays who are comfortable, too comfortable, with allowing a woman to take care of them. There are too many men today who aren't really looking for a wife. They're looking for a substitute mother. Many of them have been raised by single parents, single mothers, and I have a big heart for single mothers. A big heart, because I know that their road is a difficult road to take. It is a difficult task being a single mother, raising your kids, especially when you got boys. So my hat goes off to them, my heart goes out to them, my support goes out to them. We used to have a program that we did through our King's Table ministry years back that God gave me. It was called SPIN, S-P-I-N, Single Parents in Need. And we did a lot for single parents back in that day. So I have a heart for single mothers. But the one thing I used to always say to those mothers when they would say to me, Pastor, you know what's wrong with this boy? Because I've been a mother and a father to him. I did everything. I said, ma'am, I beg to differ with you. You may be the greatest mama in all the world, but you'll never be a father to that boy because you can't think like a man. Amen. And that was before Steve Harvey did his stuff. I give Steve Harvey his kudos. But I was teaching stuff that Steve Harvey talking about. I was teaching it long before Steve Harvey came out with his book. I tell women all the time, you can't think like a man, so that boy needs to have a male model in his life. And we have too many men today who are satisfied and pacified with allowing women to take the head of the house, and they don't want to take the responsibility of the heaviness of home life. The next one says, a real man is confident in his plan for his life. It says one of the main traits of a real man is vision. Another is the strength to hold on to the vision. He must have an image of how he wants his life to turn out. Not only does he have this, but he must ensure that others do not sway his resolve to follow a path of his own choosing. Thus, a real man must have a purpose and be strong enough to resist those who try to discourage him. A real man is one, even as the previous point that was made of being self-reliant, will not only have many times his 9 to 5, but he also wants something for himself. I got my 9 to 5 for assurance that I got a paycheck coming in. Because I know I got a lot of responsibility. I got to make sure that that stuff is taken care of. But for my little something on the side, something for me, or the extra that I want to do, I need to have something for myself that even gives me a promise that one day I don't have to do the 9 to 5. I can have my own business. I can have something where I'm not calling somebody boss. I am the boss. And it gives us as men that confidence that we need. And we should have a vision for something that is our own and not allow anybody to sway us from it. Now, I used to be a little bit too aggressive in that way. I was overly ambitious when I was young. And I had this dumb statement that I used to make to my wife all the time. I used to tell her, baby, this train is moving. This train called AD, it's on the move. Now, if you want to be a part of this, get on the train. Because if you try to hold the train back, you're going to get drugged.
All right.
That's just who I was at that time.
All right.
I had a desire to become wealthy.
All right.
My desire was to be rich by the time I was 30 and just kick my feet up for the rest of my life till I turned 100.
My God.
I had ambition, I had vision.
All right.
And I wasn't going to let anybody deter me from that. Till God stepped in. I listened to him even when I ain't listened to my wife.
All right.
But a real man is confident in his plan for his life. You got to have a vision for yourself, brother. If your wife, your girlfriend or fiance doesn't see you being able to lead yourself, it's going to be real hard for her to have trust for you to be able to lead her and your children. Goes on to say a real man is intrinsically motivated. It says many people head online to watch motivational videos. Some of these are those seeking motivation to become men. While it may be helpful for a while, extrinsic motivation can only get you so far. Real men are aware of this. Therefore, they are intrinsically motivated. Their motivation comes from within. From deep in their hearts and souls comes the drive that they use to accomplish things in their life. Thus, real men are intrinsically motivated. I am intrinsically motivated, so much so that it is sometimes mistaken as being cocky. I've never been one who needed the approval of others before I decided on what I wanted to do. And as a man, you should be intrinsically motivated. If you're the kind of man, and I remember this, back in the 70s and the 80s, a lot of the brothers at that time were trying to, go into business for themselves. It was the movement at the time, and a lot of black men especially were trying to get out from under the umbrella of the 9 to 5, kind of thing, and they wanted to have their own. And they were motivated to try to make it happen. But you always have that crowd of men who depend on their significant other to be their motivator. And I would hear men say stuff like, well, man, the old woman I got, she don't try to help a brother out. She don't motivate a brother, What do you mean she don't motivate a brother? Well, I need to know she by my side. Okay, well, she there with you. So she by your side. Yeah, but see, she don't understand, what a man needs. Well, okay, she a man. She's not a man. So obviously she don't. She young. She ain't ever been married before. All this new to her too. So motivate your own self. Okay? Because if you're the kind of person that somebody else has to keep pumping you up, that gets to be a pain in the behind. You always down. You always on the ground. You always got sad sack look on you. Give a brother a break. Help yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Make up your mind what you want to do. Be willing to do. Here's the killer. The hard work that's necessary to get what you want.
All right. All right.
If this brother over here can do it, you can too.
All right.
So don't be the kind of person, the kind of man that always needs somebody to pump you up.
All right.
Now, grant you, we need our woman there next to us, so when we, from those times, hit the wall, or we make that mistake, and we fail, and we fall, and it just didn't turn out, yeah, we need you there at that time, say, baby, it's all right. We don't need you there at that time saying, I told you so, pointing your finger at us.
My God.
We need you there at that time to support us.
That's right.
But if the woman gotta pump you every day, all day, that's tiring.
Yes, it is.
She won't have time to even take care of the children. Goes on to say a real man is a nonconformist. It says a conformist is a person who follows the rules, style, and customs of the crowd around them. They are led like sheep. They do not make up their own ideas. They simply borrow from what is popular and follow it blindly. Real men are not conformists. They are pioneers, it says. They blaze their own trail, however hard it may be. And brothers don't want to hear that kind of stuff today. Young brothers especially, you know, there's a spirit of entitlement in the land. You know, you're looking too much for what mama and daddy and the government and somebody else, you know, should be doing for you in order to make it a little bit easier. That's one of the mistakes we've made as a